What's up, guys? This is another episode of Elite Sports Recovery and Performance. I'm your host, Nate Avila, and if you're just tuning into the second episode of this week, this episode is going to be amazing. We're going to talk about the benefits of how to reduce hamstrings and hamstring tightness. Now, if you're just tuning into this on YouTube, thank you for joining. We also do have this on a podcast of Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast, so you can definitely find this there as well to save this and also refer this out to your friends. So let's jump right into it. So basically, let's answer the very most important question: what is hamstring tightness? Understanding the anatomy of it. Because our hamstrings have three muscles of it, three belly muscles to our hamstrings, and so a lot of people are saying, well, I thought it was just one particular, muscle. No, we have three belly muscles in our hamstrings, and all three of those belly muscles can get tight. If it's just the long center one that gets tight, or if it's the one on the outside or the one on the inside gets tight, they're all gonna get tight. One can get, pretty tighter than the other. One can get shorter than the other. One can get longer than the other. It all can affect each other. And so it's definitely important that if you are getting massage therapy work done, or sports massage therapy work done, or stretching work done, that you definitely get your hamstrings worked on for sure. Because your tightness of your hamstrings will definitely affect your mobility, and it's going to cause a lot of pain in the low back region and in the glute region, and will start pulling at the knee, and you definitely don't want that. So keep in mind that hamstrings will control all of your lower body. It is your lower power movement force. It is not the main force, but it is going to be helpful in your power force of your exercises and your movement and your walking. It is just an assistant movement for your muscles, because our primary movers for our body are the glutes and the quads. So our hamstrings are just a backup to everything. Then lastly, we also have our calves too, but those will come very last because they're kind of like the buddy to the hamstrings. But if the hamstrings start to go down, then everything else around it will start to go down. So you definitely want to make sure your hamstrings are staying on top of its priority of getting those work done. So a lot of my clients ask me, what causes some tightness? Well, here's a myth about that. Hamstrings are supposed to be tight. They're supposed to be tugged on because they are like a lever. They need to be tugged on because you have your ground, your feet, they need to be pulling up the calf, and then you have your pelvis, your glutes, then you need to be pulling down as well. So your hamstrings are being pulled in both directions. So your hamstrings need to be tight in both directions. They do not need to be loose. So you don't need people to be going in there and just making them soft. But you can get micro knots in your hamstrings. How do you get those micro knots? Well, sedentary lifestyles. If you're sitting all day for prolonged period of times at your job or at home, that can be numero uno. Overuse or improper training at the gym. If you have a trainer and the trainer says, I have so many accolades and I know what to do with the body, and you're going home feeling sore and you're hurting, you're definitely not doing something right. Your hamstrings should be sore lightly, not to the point of pain. And so that is a problem there, that they're being overused and improperly training as well. And then lastly, muscle imbalances. Like I told you, there's three belly groups of the hamstrings. So your inside could be imbalanced, your outside could be imbalanced, the middle could be imbalanced. You won't really know until something happens inside your workout or until someone is working on you. So that is another way to figure that out. Basically, how to reduce those tightness? Well, simple. A proper stretching routine. Getting also sports massage therapy work on you. A lot of people think it's not as hard, or it's hard, but it's really as simple as stretching. You don't need to stretch for long periods of time. I used to stretch for 45 minutes, but I realized I don't need to stretch for that long anymore. I'm a big advocate on foam rolling, so foam rolling is the best tool to have because you need to be able to warm myofascial, those tissues up for sure before you get into stretching. Dynamic stretching as well if you're a runner and you're trying to get into long distances. CrossFit as well if you're trying to CrossFit your workouts, and if you're lifting heavy, powerlifting, the benefits of those stretching techniques is 3 to 4 hours before your workout, or at least 24 hours in advance. I've had many athletes in that department that tell me they don't stretch because it's not good for their body in that area. Well, I can tell you as a sports massage therapist and the research that I have done and applied, that you as a CrossFitter or a Olympian or a weightlifter or a powerlifter can stretch. It is not going to affect your power ability. You just have to do it properly, and you just have to integrate it into your routine properly. So that is the best key takeaway I can give to you in your advice. Well, so let's just wrap this up here a little bit. Takeaways on this is hamstring tightness is preventable and it's treatable. With the right combination of stretches, massage therapy, and strengthening exercises, you can be able to master that. And then you'll see an overall outcome in your daily workout routine and your workouts with your trainer or without, like by yourself. You're going to be able to experience a lot of different things, on your own, and you're going to have a great experience, and you're going to be like, wow, like my hamstrings are not as sore or not as tight after a long day of work of standing and sitting. So I am onto something here. And trust me, I'm not making this up because I used to have chronic tightness in my hamstrings as well, and now I can maintain them pretty well. But I'm also an advocate for massage therapy work. It doesn't have to be sports massage therapy. I just recommend just going to find someone that does good work to be able to help you in that realm of getting those hamstrings worked on. But that is the key takeaways of here today. If you guys like this video, subscribe to this video, follow this channel, follow me on my podcast of Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Elite Sports Recovery and Performance. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.